If you guys hear any running, banging, screeching, hissing, I apologize in advance. My cats are being absolutely bananas right now. Today I'm coming at you guys with one of my favorite videos to film, my yearly favorites. So if you guys enjoy makeup, beauty, and you want to hear about all of the products that I've been loving this year, I've tried so many. Then let's go ahead and get into it. If you're new to my channel, hello, welcome. My name is Ashley. I am a makeup junkie. I love testing new products, and makeup is also just my therapy. So I definitely accumulate a lot of products throughout the year. I love testing the new releases, and I did try to keep this yearly favorites to products that launched this year or that launched late in 2023. I really wanted to just whittle this down to new releases and all that jazz. Hope that makes sense. So let's just go in order from how I would apply my makeup. I only have one primer. The CoverGirl Skin Enhancer Sticky Grip Primer was my favorite primer from this year. I love how it makes your makeup last longer, but it's not as thick and goopy as some of the other gripping primers. It's very hydrating, and it just feels really nice and refreshing going on the skin. So definitely really love this one from CoverGirl. For base products, I have two. The first is definitely more everyday sheer light coverage. The CoverGirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence looks like little pigment beads suspended in a serum. It looks so skin-like. You can't really tell that you're wearing any product, but it evens out the skin nicely, and it just looks so beautiful, and it makes your skin look more hydrated and healthy. So I really loved this for everyday wear. And then for my more glam moments, this is probably one of my favorite releases of the year. This is the Soft Lit foundation from Fenty Beauty. This is one of the most beautiful hydrating foundations I've ever tried. You get good medium to full coverage out of this. It wears all day long. It hydrates your skin, but it doesn't overly emphasize pores, texture, anything like that. So I was such a fan of this, and I will continue to be a fan of this. I foresee myself loving this for a very long time. I actually have quite a few concealers. Let me first mention the one that I think launched this year, the L'Oreal Paris True Match Radiant Serum Concealer. This is a beautiful, very thin, light to medium coverage concealer. It's perfect for every day. My favorite thing about this is that it sets down. So if you have very dry skin like me, you do not need to set this with powder. It doesn't crease on my under eyes at all, really. This one somehow resists the creasing, so I really enjoyed this one from the drugstore. Another one from the drugstore that I don't believe launched this year. It probably launched the year before or even before that, but I tried it this year. This is the JOAH Perfect Complexion Eye Serum Concealer. This one is so smoothing under the eyes. There's something about it that really just flattens out this area. So if you have more deep set eyes like me, if you have some hollowness, this is just going to kind of blur that and create the illusion of a more plumped up, hydrated under eye. Kind of dries down to a soft satin finish, so you don't have to set this with powder if you have dry skin. It's just really beautiful. I also really enjoy this one for every day. The last one that I tried this year that I believe launched last year, but that's so good and probably my new holy grail concealer, the Tower 28 Swipe Right Concealer. It's hydrating under the eyes but not greasy or oily. It smooths out the under eyes, it doesn't overly crease, and it gives you really good high medium coverage. It's just a beautiful formula. I have enjoyed it so much, and I literally have to hide this from myself because I can't stop wearing it. If you are interested in any of the shades that I wear, I will list them in the description box down below, so check that out. This is a polarizing product, but I am absolutely obsessed with it. It is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzing and Shaping Serum. I love this. The reason why it's polarizing, I think, is because of the level of pigmentation. It is very sheer, but that's the reason why I love it, because you can't go overboard with this. It gives you subtle definition and color, but it never looks like a stripe on the skin. It never looks too heavy. It also has a subtle luminous finish, but it's not glittery or sparkly, so it just makes your cheeks look very healthy and alive. You can put this on over top of just bare skin. You don't have to wear any other makeup, and it doesn't look like too much. You can mix it in with your foundation if it's a little bit too light for you, which I did all the time in the summer. You can see, I think, how much I have dug into this. Literally one of my favorite releases of the year. It's such a unique product in my collection that I never knew that I needed until I tried it, and now I can't see myself doing my makeup without it. Another liquid bronzer I wanted to mention, this is the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Contour Wand. And this is very, very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. It has a little puff, the little squeezy tube. And I will say, out of all of the other replicas or dupes, this is the most similar. It looks very pigmented when you first dot it onto your skin, but it blends out so easily, and it has a sheerness to it that allows your skin to peek through, so it just looks very natural while still being impactful. It dries down so it wears a really long time, and overall I'm just really impressed by this. I don't think I gave this enough love on my channel, but I was wearing it like crazy off camera, so definitely a really great liquid bronzer option from the drugstore or just in general. It's just really good. For powder bronzer, I had to mention the NYX Buttermelt Bronzer. I don't know if you can see, but I have definitely dug into this. There is a really big indent. I'm almost hitting pan. I love how creamy it is. I love how blendable it is. It is very pigmented, but even though it's very pigmented, it blends out like a dream. And again, it has that luminous finish on the skin that's not glittery or sparkly that just makes your cheeks look so healthy. These Buttermelt bronzers also have a little bit of a rosy undertone, which I find really nice for a blush bronzer moment. If I don't feel like going in with blush that day, I can just use this as a blush as well because it has a little bit of that rosiness. It feels very luxurious for the drugstore, and it also smells amazing. For liquid blush, you already know the e.l.f. Camo liquid blushes have stolen my heart this year. These are so good, and they're like $8 from the drugstore. Very pigmented, but they blend out. You can build them up without picking up the product underneath. They wear all day long. They have such glorious shades, so many fun colors to choose from. I am such a fan. My favorite color is Dusty Rose, but honestly, there's so many other gorgeous ones if this is not your cup of tea. I tried a lot of liquid blushes from the drugstore this year, but this one is by far the best. I had to also give a shout out to these Milk Cooling Water Jelly Tints. These are just so fun, okay? I got this pretty recently, but I can already tell that it's a favorite because it's just so unique and so fun. It is, of course, the viral Jello-like consistency, but the reason why I love this is because it's perfect for a stained popsicle cheek moment. If I'm not wearing any foundation, but I just want to add a little bit of color to the cheeks, I will just go in and dab this on, blend it out quickly with my finger, and it just gives my cheeks the most perfect flush that looks like it's coming from within, and it also wears all day long because it is a stain. So I just really love this. I think it's a really fun, unique product. I definitely had to mention it because I do think it adds something special to my collection. For powder blush, the sister to the powder bronzer, the NYX Buttermelt blushes are so good. These ones smell delicious too, but they're almost a little bit more fruity. These are highly pigmented blushes, but they do blend out gorgeously. I will say, if you are more fair like I am, do not go in with one of the deepest, darkest shades because they can be a little bit patchy on the skin. But I do like that there are some really great, bold, vibrant color options for people with more medium to deep dark skin tones. I love the fun shades that these come in, and I also love the finishes on the cheeks. Some are more glowy, almost shimmery, but not glittery, and some are more like the bronzer in that they have a sheen to them, a little bit more than satin, but not metallic or anything like that. So they just make your cheeks look very luminous, alive, and they're just a really nice, fun, punchy blush. Another great drugstore launch this year were these Essence blush crushes. These are like $3, I want to say. Essence just makes some really great blushes. Last year they released their baked blushes, which were a favorite. It blends out like a dream. It's pigmented. It's just a very velvety, creamy formula. My favorite shade, if I'm being honest, is in Caramel Latte. This is the most beautiful nude brown blush that has some shimmer to it. I am wearing this on my cheeks today. Not all the shades have the same finish, which is not my favorite. I do wish they all had the same finish if they're in the same line. I have another one in Deep Rose that's a bit more matte, but I prefer the shimmery finish of Caramel Latte. Also, another side note, these are very fragile. I already had to replace one because I was holding it up like this. It fell out of the pan and shattered everywhere. So I repurchased it, but you can see it already is sort of falling apart. So I need to remind myself to be careful with this because it is fragile. But even if this breaks again, I probably will repurchase it because I love the formula and the color so much, and it's only like $3. The last powder blush that I wanted to mention that is an absolute gem from this year, the Fenty Beauty Suede Powder Blush. Suede Powder Blush is the perfect description for this because it feels like a suede coat. It's so smooth and velvety, but not super powdery. It's more of a satin finish. I wouldn't call it a luminous blush, but it's definitely not a flat matte either. I also love the shade in Bacon Cakes. This one is just the most beautiful brown with a little bit of a rosy undertone. Really, really love these from Fenty. I feel like this year Fenty had a lot of really great releases. I have one honorable mention. I'm sort of cheating with this because this is a very new product to my collection and it also did not launch this year, but I had to give a shout out to the iconic London Rollaway Glow Liquid Highlighter. This is stunning. It comes in a little roller ball, which I think is so fun, but really aside from the packaging, it is the formula that I love. This looks like glass, metallic-y, beautiful, wet goodness on your cheeks. If you want a blinding highlight that is not glittery, not sparkly, it doesn't look chunky, it just melts into the skin, you need to try this out from Iconic London. It is a beautiful, beautiful formula. It doesn't pick up the product underneath. It wears all day long. I can't deny that this is just a delicious liquid highlighter. Another one that I believe launched this year or at the end of 2023, the Moira Dreamlight Highlighter. I have the shade Reckless Love, which is a beautiful peachy, pinky, champagne color. To me, this is very similar to the Rare Beauty highlighters in that they have that baked thin formula, but honestly I like this a little bit better because I feel like it just melts into the skin a little bit better. It's a very intense highlighter, but it doesn't look chalky. It doesn't look like it's sitting on top of the skin. It really does melt into the skin and just look so gorgeous. It's just a really, really luxurious formula at an affordable price point. My other favorite highlighter from this year, the Fenty Beauty Demi Glow Light Diffusing Highlighter. I have the shade Prosecco. It is the highlighter I'm wearing today. The way that this just makes your cheeks pop, it is stunning. It's a little bit more, not powdery, but more picks up than the Moira. The Moira is more of a thin, almost drier baked formula, but not in a bad way. This one is more of a traditional powder, but there's something about this that literally just melts into the skin and you can really, really build that baby up to get a very impactful cheek pop moment. So if you like a beaming highlighter, definitely check out these from Fenty Beauty. Oh, it just, my mouth waters just looking at it. I need to pick up a lighter shade because I do have the second lightest shade. It's a little bit deep for me at the moment, but I don't care because it's gorgeous. I'm just gonna speed through the eyebrow mascara category because it's a little boring. And honestly, I've just been kind of using the same brow pencils that I always do. My Maybelline Ultra Precise, my Milani Slim Brow Pencil. I also been really enjoying the Milani Weekend Brow in the shade Soft Brown. It is the perfect shade for my brows. So same kind of brow pencil pen products I've been using, but I did want to shout out two gels from the drugstore that I think are really, really, really great heavy duty brow gels. The first is the one I'm wearing today. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Brazilian Brow Lift. It has a very liquidy formula, but it dries down and really locks your brows into place, but it doesn't feel like you're wearing a brow gel. So it's not a thick, goopy formula, which I really, really like. I also enjoy the wand because it's sort of a spiky comb applicator, so you can really get each and every brow hair sort of separated and give you that really feathery look. Another one that I really enjoyed this year is from Maybelline. This is their Super Lock Brow Glue. This one has more of a fluffy, spoolie applicator, but it's still really great at combing through the brow hairs and coating each hair with the product. This formula is a little bit thicker and it does take a little bit longer to dry down than the Physicians Formula, but again, it really does help to give you that feathery, fluffed up brow look that stays in place all day long. So wanted to give a shout out to these two brow gels. The only new mascara this year that I tried, well, I tried some new mascaras, but the only new release that I tried was from e.l.f., the Lash Extender. I really like this for every day. It is a tubing mascara, so it comes off in those little tiny tubes with just warm water. I am really lazy when it comes to removing my makeup. I hate having to take off waterproof mascara. Sometimes I don't even wear mascara because I'm just such a lazy girl when it comes to taking off my makeup that I just can't be bothered. But I do enjoy a tubing mascara formula for every day because it's just so quick and easy. This one just gives you some nice separation, some length. It gives you that doe-eyed, defined look. I have three eyeshadow palettes that I did quickly want to mention. The first is the one that I'm wearing on my eyes today. It is the Cosmic Beauty Undergrowth palette. Cosmic Beauty is a UK-based indie brand, and this was my first palette that I tried from them. I believe this was their fall launch. It is gorgeous. A grungy green color story that also can give you some really nice neutral looks. You got some warm greens, some cool greens. There's a lot of versatility in this palette. The mattes are very pigmented. They build up upon themselves beautifully, but if I had to pick one thing about this palette that really stands out, it is the shimmers. There's some really beautiful duochrome, multi-chrome shades in here that are just, to be honest, surprising for the price point. This is around $30, I believe, and you get some really special shades in this palette for that price. On the opposite end of the price spectrum, these icon palettes from Revolution Beauty are fantastic. You get two little creams, which honestly I haven't used. I'm kind of cheating with this because this is a pretty new palette in my collection, but I already know that it's going to be a favorite. The mattes are a little bit more loosely pressed, but they build up so beautifully and they blend out so beautifully. They're velvety, they're creamy, so I don't mind the powderiness. The shimmers in here are actually very special for a drugstore brand. You get some duochromes in here, just really unique, unexpected finishes that you never see in affordable eyeshadow, so highly recommend checking these out from Revolution Beauty. And then last but not least, this I believe launched at the end of 2023, but I tried it at the beginning of the year and I fell in love immediately. This is from Ensley Rain. This is the Lands of Enchantment palette, and this just screams cotton candy, polar princess vibes to me. The shimmers in this palette are like nothing I've ever tried before. Similar to Pat McGrath Split's Astral Shades, her special shades, if you've tried those, but even better, you get so many more than you get in the Mothership palettes, and the mattes are uber pigmented, but they do blend out. This palette is pricey, but I think you get a lot for what you're paying. I mean, this is a ginormous palette. It's around $88, but you get a lot of shades, and the formula, I can't deny, is spectacular, and every time I dip into this, I am amazed and just gasping at the beauty. This year was the year for lip liner for me. I found 3 new holy grail favorite formulas: the Maybelline Lifter liners, the Fenty Beauty Traced Out lip liners, and the Makeup Revolution Artist Color Pencil Extremes. I'll talk about them all in the same breath because they are all pretty much the same formula. They're very similar. Very pigmented, very creamy, lock down, and last all day. That's all I have to say about them. I can't stop reaching for them. I've literally neglected all my other lip liners because I've been using those like crazy. I have a bunch of these glossy lip stick, lip gloss, lip balm hybrids. The 2 sort of clicky style ones. NYX Fat Oil Slick Click. This is the lip product I'm wearing today with the Maybelline lip liner in On It. This is a little bit of a thinner, more balm-like formula compared to some of the other clicky pen type products. It's not as thick on the lips and it wears a long time. You don't have to be scared when going in with this product. Some of these clicky style products are very pigmented and very thick, so you have to be careful that you don't apply too much, but this one is just easy every day, don't have to worry about it. I also really enjoyed the ColourPop So Juicy Plumping Gloss Bombs. This is more creamy and more pigmented than the NYX, but still has a bit of sheerness to it. It's just really nice for every day. Pop it on with a lip liner. It moisturizes your lips, adds a bit of color, and just looks really glossy and beautiful. Another one from the drugstore, the Hard Candy, I forget what these are called. These are just a very glossy, thin lip balm lip gloss hybrid. They smooth out the lip lines, they feel nourishing, but you don't really have to worry about them slipping and sliding around because they have a little bit of a grip to them. The last one is from Fenty Beauty. These are their Gloss Bomb Sticks in Spice Cold. There's a lot of really great shades, but I like this one because it's more of a brownie rosy shade. This, out of all of the glossy balm type products, is the most pigmented. You do need to be a little careful when applying them because you can get too much too quickly. The way I like to apply this is just sort of tapping it on, and that gives you the perfect amount of pigment and hydration and shine, and they just smell like Fruit Loops. They feel so good on the lips, and I really enjoy how glossy they look. I'm not a big traditional lipstick girl, but I really enjoyed these Slim Stick lipsticks from Essence. I have two shades, Over the Nude and Brick Road. I really want to get the chocolate shade. I actually really like the packaging because they're thinner, so there's something about it that just makes it really easy to apply. But aside from the packaging, the formula of these is truly something special. These are a matte lipstick, but they are so pillowy and cloud-like on the lips. They're not drying at all. They sort of just smooth over your lips and give you that really pillowy, cloud-like matte look. So I'm such a fan of these from Essence. Had to give them a shout out because even though I'm not a big matte lipstick person, I found myself reaching for these all the time. So yeah guys, that completes this video. Those are all the products that I was loving in the year of 2024. There were so many great ones, so many others that I could have mentioned, but I really wanted to narrow it down. Be sure to leave me a comment below, letting me know what products you loved this year. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you back. I cannot wait to see what 2025 has in store for us. I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye!